So in today's class, we will learn in detail about the further derivative part of understanding what is a linear arch and how do we state the Eddy's theorem and how exactly the analysis methods are there to analyze a two-hinged or three-hinged arch. So there are two things here to understand. Um, First one is we have actually got an actual arch which is in the shape of a parabola or circular or elliptical shape. But there is something called theoretical arch. So that is actually used to understand how exactly the positioning of loads would influence the overall behavior of an arch. Okay, so let us try to understand that in today's class. So to start with, let us consider a two-hinged or three-hinged arch subjected to loads W1, W2, W3 as shown in the figure in the previous slide. So consider a two or three hinged arch subjected to loads W1, W2 and W3. Let the vertical and horizontal reactions, let the vertical and horizontal reactions at the supports be given by is given by. So what will be the reactions to be considered? You can see that, see RA, RB, HA and HB. Okay, RA comma RB and HA comma HB. Okay, for simplicity, for simplicity, consider HA is equal to HB is equal to H, just for our calculation or derivation purposes. Okay, so then comes, so let us consider a linear or theoretical arch. Linear or theoretical arch. Linear or theoretical arch. So if you understand the terminology itself, so previously we have seen actual. So actual versus theoretical. So actual means the real representation of the corresponding structural component. So theoretical is something that is associated with the assumed values. Okay, so the arch which follows, I'll write the definition. So the definition of theoretical arch is the arch which follows the shape of a funicular polygon, which follows the shape of a funicular polygon. This is the shape of one of the shape of the polygon after the application of the loads, after the application of the series of loads, after the application of series of loads is known as a linear or theoretical arch. Linear or theoretical arch. So what is that understanding? So there is an arch. So there is an arch the moment we try to apply the load, the moment we try to apply the load, what will happen? It will take some shape because it will act as a pin at every point. So the shape that we are going to get after the application of series of loads is actually a funicular polygon. It will look like a funicular polygon. So how does it look like? So let us try to see that. So now if you see, this is the original arch, and where are the loads applied? W1, W2, W3. So this actual arch after the application of load will look like a funicular polygon, and let us try to see how does that look like. So if you see, okay, so now it is like a funicular polygon, means it's like a straight lines that are actually considered as an arch, and accordingly wherever the load is applied at that junctions, there is a small jerk kind of a thing. Okay, okay. So if you see similar process, W1, W2, W3. See here, W1, W2, W3. Okay, and both supports are there. So you have reactions. So this shape is actually called as funicular polygon. This is A, B, C, and D. And the portions, when we divide, this is P, Q, R, and S. Okay. So this is actually called as a funicular polygon. Funicular polygon. So now, if you consider this, so I'll write it here. So consider a funicular polygon. Consider a funicular polygon. So what is the total shape? ACD. Oh, I think I have written it. Let me just check the previous one. What all we have written? Same thing we need to follow. B. Okay, fine. So this is actually B. We are just trying to follow the same terminology for all the joints such that it is easy to relate both of them, actual and theoretical. Consider a funicular polygon A, C, D, E, B. Okay, and now if you see this is like a joint. This is also like a joint, and this is also like a joint. So the members AC, CD, DE, and EB are pin jointed. What is that? Members AC, CD, DE, and EB are pin jointed. Imagine, all of you should understand one thing. This is a theoretical concept, not the actual concept. It's a theoretical one. So what does that mean? What does that mean? We are trying to visualize the actual arch in such a way that wherever there is a load applied, that is a pin joint. So now, is it not looking like a truss? So that's what we do, right? In truss also, we will have the pin joints, and each and every the load can be applied at each and every pin joint. So similarly, the theoretical representation or the linear. So why the word linear has come into picture? You can see from every joint the curve is linear, whether it is an upward curve from point A to C, C to D, or the downward curve D to E or E to B. So it is linear. So that is why we have tried to. That is why the name was given as a linear arch. So this is pin jointed. So once if this is pin jointed, so generally in a linear arch, all the members are subjected to compressive forces. because see, everywhere it is, what is happening? Pushing, compressing. From the top it is compressing. So all the forces are in compression, and they must be in equilibrium also. They must be in equilibrium also. So when I sketch it, see how it does, how it looks like. So when I sketch that, to give a clear cut understanding, I'm just tilting it for a better understanding. I'm trying to tilt it. So if you can try to see, if this is point O, so you see, if this is a joint, here from here we have 1, 2, 3. So total 3 members are joining. So this is like exactly the all the compression forces are acting together at a point. So that is what we are trying to consider. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have a center joint, center, exact center point. So let us name it as P, Q, R, S, and M, just for our sake of understanding. What I have written here, P, Q, R, S, I am trying to represent it in the form of equilibrium condition. In the form of an equilibrium condition means, so all the members of the linear arch are in compression, and it follows equilibrium condition, and its joints must be in equilibrium. Joints must be in equilibrium, isn't it? What, so the moment we say pin jointed, joint must be in equilibrium. So what is equilibrium condition? Sum of all horizontal and vertical forces should be equal to 0. Now considering this, so this is actually a vector diagram. What is this? This is a vector representation or vector diagram. So what does this represent? Each and every portion of the linear arch has been shown in the form of a vector. Okay, you already know what is a scalar and a vector, which have the direction and magnitude. So that's how we are representing the entire theoretical linear arch into a vector diagram. So when we are considering this linear vector diagram, so the each and every vector diagram corresponds to the load that it is acting on the linear arch. So that PQ, QR, and RS represents what? Loads W1, W2, W3. So I'll write it here. So PQ, QR, and RS represents loads W1, W2, and W3. Okay. Now, so what is OM then? Horizontal thrust. So horizontal push. That is a horizontal thrust. And you can see MP and MS are vertical reactions at A and B. See, this is one of a beautiful vector representation. You see here, OM. I'll write here. So OM, what does it represent? It represents the horizontal thrust. OM is horizontal thrust. And what else we have in the previous part? MP and MS. MP and MS. So MP comma MS represents reaction at A and B. Reaction at A and B. See that? I'll again show that in the linear arch. So see here, MP. So see that means if we take the center of this arch and we are trying to represent. So see here, this to this PQ. So PQ is actually what? W1, QR, W2, RS, W3. And from A to C, that is the center point. So if you take this as an origin of this vector, so from this top portion means till Q. So till this point it is reaction A and bottom point will be reaction at B. So this is just a vector representation. Okay. Now, because each and every joint, all of you should understand that each and every joint is actually considered as a pin joint. Each and every joint is considered as a pin joint. What is the bending moment at the pin joint? So the bending moment at the pin joint should be equal to 0. So the bending moment at pin joint, bending moment at pin joint is equal to 0. This is for what? Linear arch, not the actual one. Linear arch, because it takes the shape of a funicular polygon. Now, if I take the original arch again, the actual arch, okay, if I just consider the actual arch again and also try to represent the theoretical arch together in a single figure, So see how does it look like? This is a joint. This is also a joint. This, this, sorry. See that? So this is the actual arch. So this is linear arch. And what is this? Actual arch. I'm just trying to represent it in a common platform. And now if I sketch this as a common platform between actual arch and the theoretical arch. Okay. So where are the loads applied? This W1, W2, W3. So three loads are acting here. And what did we assume? We have the horizontal reaction H here, horizontal reaction H here, and we have vertical reaction and vertical reaction. Now, if we take these sections, if we consider these sections, okay, so this section will be x and x with a distance of y. This is section xx, and that is for the actual arch. And if you take the theoretical arch, so this is x1 and this is x1. If this is the section and this height is y1, this height is y1. Now see, okay. So now, so till this point, I'll try to recall what all we have done. We have considered an actual arch and we have considered a theoretical arch. So in the theoretical arch, we have divided the entire arch into different portions, considering it as a funicular polygon. So when we say funicular polygon, what does that mean? So it looks like a polygon. Wherever there is a load, it is divided into each and every portion. And each and every joint where the load is applied is actually a pin joint. So at that joint, the bending moment will be 0. Now together, if we combine the actual arch and the linear arch, what will happen? So now actually this y and y1, so y comma y1 are the rise means the vertical distance, rise of actual comma linear arch, okay. Now how do we calculate the bending moment at first section, that is xx. So moment at xx section is equal to how much? What we will have? We have the, so if you consider only the horizontal part of the load, if you consider only the horizontal part of the load at this section xx, what we will have? H into y, h into y. And the bending moment at section x1 will be given by what? hy1, hy1. I am writing it for horizontal force. I am writing it only for horizontal force because vertical is anyway same as that of beam. Whatever the additional part we are seeing in the arch, that is what we are considering here. So mx1 is hy1. Now, what is the net bending moment? Net bending moment. So net bending moment is equal to h into y minus y1. Correct, na? So see, till this point it is hy. This is hy1, and this bending moment in the black color vertical line zone is h into y minus y1 only for horizontal forces. So this is what we want now. What is that we understood? The net bending moment at a given section is proportional to the difference in the rise. What is that? Net bending moment. I'll write the statement. Net bending moment, net bending moment at a section X is proportional to the what? Difference in the rises. Difference in the rise. Difference in the rise, that is y minus y1. Therefore, now let us try to conclude this by giving a name to this, Eddy's theorem. Eddy's theorem. So this is, see, the final concluding climax. Why we are trying to do or link between these both? So this states that this theorem states that this theorem states that the bending moment, the bending moment where at any given section, the bending moment at any section is proportional to the, at any section is proportional to what? Vertical intercept is proportional to the vertical intercept, vertical intercept between what? Between the actual arch and the linear arch. Between the actual arch and linear arch. So this is the important theorem to be considered for the arches, actual arch as well as linear arch. So the bending moment at any given section X is proportional to vertical intercept. What is that vertical intercept? The downward lines that I have sketched. Vertical intercept between what? Linear arch and the actual arch. So this is one of the very important theorems in the arches, especially when we are trying to link linear arch and actual arch. Okay. So next topic would be analysis of three hinged arches. Okay.